Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you are doing fine. This is mathematics. In this video, we want to discuss something very important in mathematics. This is algebra. We want to revise the topic, but bear in mind that this video will be the first one, part 1. There will be part 2 that will be coming. In just 2 videos, you should be able to understand everything about this topic. Please pay attention, right? Pay attention. Now, algebra, the first thing that you need to understand is the topic itself. Algebra, what exactly will you be doing in this topic? Remember, algebra comes in both papers, paper 1 and paper 2. Something that you should not miss in your final examination. When we say algebra, we are talking about branch of mathematics or part of mathematics where letters are used to represent numbers and quantities. That is a very simple term or definition that we can use to describe algebra. Having said that, let's put it this way. We have 2x plus 4. You've seen such kind of things in mathematics, right? 2x plus 4. This 2x plus 4 is called algebraic expression. So what you are seeing here is an example of an algebraic expression. It is an expression, not an equation, no, but an expression. Now, in this algebraic expression, there are parts, okay? 1, we have x. Have you seen that? So we are saying algebra is part of mathematics in which letters, have you seen that, are used to represent numbers and quantities. So we have letters here. In this branch of mathematics, any letter can be used, any alphabet letter can be used, okay, A to Z. So don't be too comfortable with X, that no, in the exam they'll just be using X. No, it's not like that. Can be B, can be Y, any can be used, okay? Now, these letters have got special name. We will not be saying letters there, no. Letters in mathematics, we call them variables. You see that? So, the variable in this expression is x, variable. So this, we are saying variable, okay? When we have a number in front of a variable, like in this case a 2, this 2 is called the coefficient. So when I ask you to say, what is the coefficient of x? You will say 2. Okay? If there was a negative here, you could have still said, the coefficient of x is negative 2. You will even get the negative 1. I hope we are together on that one. We also have a 4 here, without a variable. A 4 is just standing on its own as a number. What do we call that? In an expression, this is constant. So this 4 here will be called what? Constant. That is a constant. Okay? Now, in this whole expression, we have what we call terms. So if you look at this expression here, how many terms do we have? You should say 2 of them. But what do we mean by term? A term is separated by either plus or minus. So in this case, I've got a plus here. What is separating these two is a plus. So meaning this is a term, this is also a term. So I've got 1, 2, 2 terms in this expression. That is the basic information that you need to know about algebra. In algebra, these terms, I want you not to get confused as I explain this, because I'll be using the language that I'm using here. So this is the term, this is another term. Here in this expression, this is an algebraic expression. I've got two terms. A number before a variable is coefficient. This x, which is a letter, is called a variable. Number without a variable is a constant. Are we together? When we equate this expression to something, we say, okay, 2x plus 4 is equal to 0. It is no longer an expression. It has now changed the name to what? An equation. So immediately you introduce equal sign, 0 or 2, you have now made an equation. Okay? That is an equation. But without equal sign, it is an expression. Therefore, as you are solving all these, as you are simplifying, there should not be equal signs there, because they are not equations. This is not an equation. There is no equal sign here. There is no equal sign here. There is no equal sign here. So they are not equations. They are expressions. I hope that information is clear. All right? So I'm sure this is clear. Now you need to know that these terms under algebra can either be added or subtracted. You can add them, you can subtract them, you can also divide, you can multiply them. All the four operations are used under algebra. All the four operations. When I say four operations, I'm talking about addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So all these are used in algebra, but you need to know that there are rules and conditions that we follow. Okay? For example, when you are adding or subtracting, you should only add or subtract like terms. Okay? So it can only be 2x plus 3x, because both have got xx. 2x plus 3x. These can be added because they are like terms. They've got xx. But look at this, 2x plus 4. Can I add this? Are they like terms? No, there's no x here. So they should always be like terms. They should be the same. Even if it is 2x squared y plus 3x squared y, those can be added because both have got x squared y, x squared y. Not whereby one has got x squared, then the other one has got x squared y. They're not the same. So you can only add or subtract like terms. With that information, let's now look at some of these examinable questions that I have. Question 1 has got 3 parts, and they are all coming from simplification. Simplify. Simplify, that term is what is called the stem of the question. That is guiding you on what you're supposed to do. So in this case, we are saying simplify, meaning you shorten the number of terms. Make it simple. That is to simplify. So we have simplified 5a plus 3b minus 2a plus 4b. Shorten the number of terms. Simplify, that is the stem of the question. So what are you going to do? You look at the expression that you've been given. This is the expression. After looking at it, in this case, we do not have brackets, like the way we have brackets here. If you don't have brackets, go direct and group like terms together. Okay? Why are you doing that? You want to identify. After you identify like terms, you'll be able to add them or subtract them. So let's start now identifying like terms. We have 5a. Do we have another term that has got a? That is what I mean by like terms. You start checking. It is here. I think that. So these are like terms. I'm going to bring this closer to this because I would say they're twins. So I'll get this, bring it here. So I'll say minus 2a. Don't change the sign. The way it is minus here, it should be the same. Don't change the sign. These are not equations. They are expressions. So you get it the way it is, put it there. Look for another one, there's nothing. So for a, that is that. You move to another term. We have plus 3b. Plus 3b. Do we have another term with b? It is here. So plus 4b. You have grouped like terms. What next? Counter check. Count the number of terms in case you've missed one here. So here there are 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 terms here. How many have I written here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm okay. Now, like I said, like terms can be added or subtracted. So look at these. They are like terms. What is 5 minus 2? We are getting 3. So you're going to say 3. The variable involved is a. So that will be 3a. We come to this side here. You also consider the positive. So we are saying positive 3 here plus 4. That is the same as 3 plus 4. That will give us 7. So we are going to say plus 7b. I see that? Anything that can be done? I said only like terms can be added or subtracted. Here we have a, here we have b. Can we add them? No. That shows you that this is now the end. That is the final. You get your full marks. We got to b. Simplify 4x squared plus 2y squared minus xy minus 6x squared plus 2xy. This is coming from 2019 grade 12. Okay, simplify 2 marks. There are no brackets here. You go straight and start grouping them. Okay, so I'll start with the first term, 4x squared. Please copy the correct thing. Okay, copy the correct terms the way they are written in your final exam paper. So we have 4x squared. I'm going to look for a pair here with the x squared. Is it this one? No. This one? No. This one? Yes. There's x squared, this term here. So you get this one here, which is, you get with a negative here, negative 6x squared. So we have negative 6x squared. That is the pair. What next? I've got no x squared. I'll go to this term, plus 2y squared. Y squared. I'll look for a pair here, y squared. Do we have y squared here? Nothing. So this one is alone. I'll go to the next one here, minus xy. Do I have another pair here for xy? Xy, here, xy is here. Are you seeing that? So you have xy. This is the pair with this. You get this one here, which is plus 2xy. I see that? Are we done with the number of terms? We can now check if at all we have missed one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are done. Then we start adding and subtracting. Okay? So here we have x squared, x squared. Therefore I can subtract. What is 4 minus 6? This one calls for integers now. 4 minus 6 is negative what? 4 minus 6 is negative 2. So you are going to write negative 2 just like that. You see that? So this will give us negative 2. What next? What next that you are going to do? 4 minus 6 here is negative 2. So you're going to write negative 2 here. The variable involved is x squared. So x squared. So the answer to this is negative 2x squared. This one is alone. Okay? This one is just alone. So I'll say plus 2y squared. This side I can add, subtract because there is xy, xy. What number is here? There is no number. So if there is no number, just know that there is a 1. So what you have here is negative 1 plus 2. Find the answer to this. Then you write xy. Different signs, you are going to subtract, which is 2 minus 1, and you get a 1. Get the sign from the bigger number. 2 is bigger than 1, so we're going to get a 1. So the answer to this is just 1. Now the variable that is involved here, or variables involved is xy. So you cannot say 1xy. No. This is repetition. You are going to just ignore the 1. You will just say x1, xy. Are you seeing that? Remember this is positive, so you're going to say plus xy. Don't write 1 here. Repetition in mathematics. Okay? So you just do it that way. Well, look at it again. Can we add this? The answer is no. These are not like terms. Underline. You get your full marks. Are we following? Simplify. See, 2 in brackets we have x plus 3y minus 3. In brackets we have 4x minus 2. This is coming from 2023 GCE. Okay? How do we simplify this one? You can see that this one is different from these two. Okay? It has got brackets. So, if an expression has got brackets, then they are saying you should first of all do what? Remove or get rid of the brackets. Now the question is, how do you get rid of these brackets here? To get rid of the brackets, you are going to multiply. Okay? You are going to multiply so that the brackets might go. That is the starting point. You are not going to start like this, no. If you have got brackets, you start from there so that you remove the brackets. So in this case, I have to remove the brackets, which is this. So I'll start multiplying. Look at this. Sometimes, again, you need to get it from me that they can even say you expand. Okay, they can say you expand, then simplify. Don't get confused that, no, the one that came this year is this and that. No. These kind of questions, they can say, you expand first, then simplify. Don't get confused. It is the same thing we are doing here. Okay? You need to know how to expand. For example, when I say you expand this, x plus 3 squared, when I say expand this, after expand, simplify, what are you going to do? X plus 3 squared, it means x plus 3 and another x plus 3, like this. Then you are going to start expanding. How do we go about it? It is this times this, which is x squared. Are you seeing that? You are going to move in that manner. So, x times x, it will be x squared. Again, the same one, x times this 3 here, which will give us plus 3x. You are done with this. You come to this. 3 times x, it will be plus 3x. 3 times 3, it will be 9. I see that? That is the way we expand. Then x squared here, this is 3x plus 3x, they are like terms. So it will give me plus 6x, then plus 9. This is now the answer to this. See that? So let's expand here. What is 2 times x? Here we're going to have 2x plus 2 times 3y. We're going to have 6y. We are done here. The brackets have gone. Minus 3 times 4x, 12x. Okay? This will give us 12x. Then negative times negative here. Be careful. Negative times negative gives you positive. Then 3 times 2 will give us 6. I've seen that. The brackets have done what? Have gone there as well. Then from here now, you have something like this. Where are you going to start from? So we have 2x here, 2x plus 6y, okay? 2x plus 6y minus 12 minus 12x here, and then plus 6. Mostly this is where you make a mistake. You will just be able to follow this. When you are multiplying, consider signs as well. So we have negative, negative, which will result into positive. So make sure that that is well understood. What next? Here, we are going to look for like terms. We have 2x here. Another one is here, minus 12x. Like this, minus 12x. What next? We have this one here, plus 6y. Do we have another pair? We don't have. Then plus 6, like that. Then these like terms. This is 2 minus 12. Please don't write 10. 2 minus 12. 2 minus 12. This is negative 10, not 10. So this gives us negative 10x here, plus what? 6y, plus 6. Are these like terms? Here there's x, here there's y, here there's nothing. This is the final answer. Just like that. I hope the first part here is clear. Now let's look at the second part. Second part under algebra is where they ask you to factorize. Factorize. This is opposite to expand. Okay? Factorize is opposite to what? Expansion. So now we have types of factorization. That is the first thing that should come into your mind whenever they ask you to factorize. It's about the type. So we have 4 of them. We have common factorization, difference of two squares, quadratic factorization, and grouping. These are the major factorization types of factorization. How do you tell? Okay, how do you tell? Difference of two squares. We always have 2 terms. 1, 2. I've seen that. I've talked about terms here. So don't say, what is this man talking about when saying terms? Difference of two squares, we always have 2 terms. Always 2 terms. Now these 2 terms will always, I'm using the word always, it will have 2 terms, always, and these 2 terms will always be separated by a minus, not a plus. Then it's not difference of 2 squares. It should always be a minus. 2 terms and a minus in between. Just know that you are dealing with difference of 2 squares. Now these 2 terms I'm talking about, they can be decimals, they can be fractions, they can be whole numbers, whatever. Just know that that still stands. It will be difference of 2 squares. Okay? Sometimes you can be given 1 over 9y squared minus 25 over x squared. They ask you to factorize. It is the same thing. Same. These 2, the same. So 2 terms, always a minus here. Except that this one is a fraction. But the concept remains the same. Okay? So how do you, first of all, factorize difference of 2 squares? This here, which is 3x to the power 3 minus 27x. How do we factorize? You look at the terms. The essence of the difference of 2 squares is to express everything in a square form. Now check out. You start with the numbers. Can you express these 2 numbers in square form? What I mean by square form is, look at this, 9 and 25. Can I express those in square form? Yes. 9 here, because y is already in square, x is already in square, 1 I will say 1 squared. But what about 9? I'll have to say 3 squared. What about 25? I have to say 5 squared. Now everything here is in square form. Now look at this. Can you express 3 in square form? No. Can you express 27? No. Now what are they telling you? They are saying, before you apply difference of two squares, there must be common factorization. So you are now going to look at the terms. What is common here? That is common factorization. It will be 3. And the what? There is also xx. So 3x is common. I'll do this. What will remain? 3 into 3, that is 3. Okay? Then we have this x into x to the power 3. There are 3 here. So I'll remain with 2 of them. Minus, how many 3s are in 27? 9 of them. I see that? Here x has been used. That is common factorization. After you have performed common factorization, then I'm going to say 3x. What I have inside here is now difference of two squares. There is x squared. This 9 can be written in square form, where I'll be able to say x squared minus 9 will change to 3 squared. Now a square square. That is what I wanted. If you express square square, then you ignore the squares. Once you ignore the squares, you will just be able to write what will remain, which will be 3x, okay? The first bracket will have x minus 3. Then the other one, since you ignore the squares here, which should produce 2, the other one will be x, you just change the sign here, plus 3. This is your final answer. So, get these concepts and use them in your final exam. This is difference of two squares. For this one, it was direct. You express everything in square form. Whatever will remain, the base is right. So here there will be 1 over here. This will be 3. There will be 3y minus c. Here there will be 5 over here. There will be x. So one will have a plus, then the other one will have the first one will have a minus, then the other one will have a plus of the same kind. We are done. Okay. We come to B. Factorize completely. This time around, we have got 3 terms. Have you seen that? This with the 3 terms is what is called quadratic factorization. Here 2 terms, here 3 terms, here 4 terms, you can see. So we have 2, 3, 4 terms. This one with the 3 terms is called quadratic factorization. Then with 4 terms, this is grouping. You are just going to group. For difference of, for quadratic factorization, we are going to say 2x squared minus x minus 6. 3 of them, huh? So here, you are going to look for what we call sum, I'll write S, and the product, I'll write P. Where do you get this sum and product? The sum, you get it in the middle, or the coefficient of x. That is your sum. In this case, the coefficient of x, remember I talked about coefficient here. The coefficient of x, or the number which is here, is what? There's a 1. Get together with a negative, so negative 1. That is the coefficient of x here, negative 1. For the product, from the word itself, product, multiplication. You are now going to multiply the coefficient of x squared and the constant. You multiply these two. If there was no number here, it means there is a 1. So 1 multiplied by that. But in this case, there is a 2. So we're going to say 2 times negative 6. We're going to get negative 12. Negative 12. So these are the numbers that we have. We have the sum, negative 1. We also have the product, which is negative 12. What next? You are now going to look for 2 numbers that can be the same, can be different. Those 2 numbers, when I add,